Hi everyone, Lisa here from LC Designs. Thank you for joining me in my craft room today. I am going to show you some tips and tricks on a fun fold card, a different way to use your dies, and just another fun fold. I'm so excited about this card. I don't know why, but I am. I love the designer series paper, and it opens like so and closes. So it's a fun fold. And our heart here is made with the Everyday Arches dies. So that's a trick on how to use your dies differently. So if you are on my email list, you would have already received this morning. So this is my PDF that has all the products that I use and the measurements that for all the pieces in the card. So if you're not on my email list, you can join my email list and you will get a new tutorial every Friday. And then plus you'll get my Workshop Wednesday tutorials as well. And on those, I put the current week of Workshop Wednesday and the previous 2 weeks. That way, in case you missed out, you'll have the other ones. And then our product of the month this month is the Wild Bunch, the adorable little critters. So when you spend $75 in my online store, you qualify for a product of the month where you can purchase it for $5. $5. Amazing. And you will get a 12 project tutorial from me where myself and 5 other demonstrators each create 2 projects using the product of the month. So you're already set to go using your product of the month. Okay, just be sure and like, share, love, share my videos with your friends. I don't come live. I have a pre-recorded video for you every Friday at 12 o'clock Mountain Time. And then you could also join me on Wednesdays for Workshop Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. So on Wednesdays, sometimes I'll do a card, I'll do 3D projects. Those projects vary. Fridays, they're always a fun fold card. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, everyone. So before we get started, this is our fun fold. So we're going to do a lot of paper trimming, but so cute. And it'll stand for your recipient. But before we get started, I'll show you the products that we're using. I'm using the Banner Sayings bundle. And this just has a lot of little sentiments, and the punch will punch out 3 different banners, and all of them will fit in the banners. So this is the Banner Sayings bundle. And I'm using actually 3 of the stamps. We're going to do Happy Birthday on the outside, and then Cue the Confetti and Celebrate on the inside. So you could see that there. And we're using the new Peaceful Pine ink. And we're also going to use the Everyday Arches dies. And I'm only using one of them. It's the 3rd to the smallest. And that's how we're going to create our heart here. And I'm using this gorgeous, I love this designer series paper, the Velvet Meadow. I don't know if you guys have seen this, got your hands on it, but all of the white is velvet. And we're using this pattern. I pulled this piece out because I think it's going to be enough. So one side of it has the velvet on it, and then the other is not, just normal designer series paper. So I think this is going to be enough, but you can use this designer series paper for backgrounds on your cards, scrapbook pages. I mean, beautiful. Such beautiful paper. I love this. Oh my gosh, this one with the cloud cover, so pretty. But we're just going to be using one pattern, so we'll move that aside, and then we're going to use our cardstocks are going to be Daffodil Delight. We only need that for the arch. We're going to use the Berry Burst for our base, and then some basic white for the banners and the inside. And I think that is it. Our embellishments are the Dreamy Flowers. These are so pretty. And then we're going to use the Berry Burst ribbon. Again, I used that last week as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, we're going to do some cutting. So where are my measurements? So 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. So let's go 4. Get all my little stamps out of the way when I have to open up the arm. It takes up a lot of room. So where am I going? 4 1/4 by 9 1/2. And then we are going to score on the long side, on the 9 1/2 inch side at 1 inch. Get my blade out of the way. Always make sure your cardstock is bumped all the way up here so that your lines, you know what, I was cutting copy paper, so I have a bunch of shreds in here. Let me get those. I should have cleaned this before I started, but all right. So again, make sure your cardstock is bumped all the way up so that your score lines are nice and straight. Another tip for you. So 1 inch, 2 inches, still staying bumped up. 7 1/2. And then 8 1/2. And this will be our card base. But now we're going to cut all these other little pieces that we need. And you're going to cut two each of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at 2 1/8. And so 1/8 is 2 notches after the 2. Again, making sure your cardstock's bumped up. So 2 1/8, and I'm going to cut, so 3 1/4. And so we need 2 of these. 1, 2, and I just realized I didn't put my measurements out for you guys, but I will in a second. And then we're going to need 2 1/8 by 2 1/4. And I don't think this one is, no, this one might, 2 1/4. Yes, so you will get all your pieces out of that strip. So let's do our designer series paper. So you're going to need 2 of these as well. So we're going to go 1 7/8. So 2 notches before the 2. 1 7/8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, so my 3. So 1 7/8 by 3, and then I need a 1 7/8 by 2. And I'm cutting them both on the same strip instead of cutting the 2, and I'll show you why. So when these pieces are on our card, they're going to match. I hope that makes sense. So they match. These are going to go on our card. And so now let's do again 1 7/8. And honestly, you won't even be able to tell if they match or not. So hold on. So what I'm saying is, like, this one will go here. This one will go here, and they match. So now, since these 2 are going to go here, we're going to cut our 1 7/8 by 2 inches first, and then our 3, because of the way that they're going on the card, so that they match. I hope I'm not confusing you, and I hope that makes sense. So I think that's the cutting that we'll do for now. And like I say, honestly, you probably can't even tell that they match or not, because look, on this one, I didn't cut them to match. And on this one, I just thought, oh, well, I'll cut them to match, and we could see the difference. But this one, I mean, the paper's so beautiful, you can't even tell. So let's glue all these on so then we know what we're doing Hopefully I'm not confusing you. So this one will go, whoa, on there. This one will go on here. And that's, you know, you're just doing that if there's a pattern and you want it to match. I'm going to move those aside there because we need to fold our card base, and then we're going to glue these on to that card base. There's that one. I tell you, this paper is so gorgeous. I love it. I love Berry Burst, and you know what? I just don't use it often. It's funny how I do that. There's things that I just don't use very often. So here's our score line. So this is going to fold in. Get my bone folder. Nice crisp lines. This one is going to fold out. Again, this side. Fold in. And then fold out. And before I forget, because I'll forget, here are the measurements. So if you're on my email list, you would have received this morning in my email. If not, you're new to me, you can do a screenshot right now with all of your measurements. And then you can join my email list and you can get this. You'll get the Fun Fold Friday every Friday along with the Workshop Wednesday tutorial. All right, so those are the measurements. These are all the pieces that I just cut. And so now we are going to, we're gonna glue our pieces on. So you can just add some glue all the way down, because this is all going to be covered. This is going to go right like so. Make sure it's bumped up correctly. And then this one is going to go right like so. That's why I like to use the glue, because you can move them around. All right, and then we're going to do the same on this side. And super easy. I mean, you know, other than all your cutting your pieces and layering them, this is actually a pretty easy fold. As I'm figuring out how to hold this without putting glue. You know, you could always lay this flat and attach these pieces. And then let's add this one. Just like so. And then look, there is our front. So now let's see how they kind of match. You can get an idea. But again, that's all optional. So now let's create our heart. Our heart is going to be out of an arch. So we're going to die cut. Again, I told you, I think this is the third to the smallest arch, which it is. Oops. So we're going to cut one out in Daffodil Delight. This is another way to use your dies in a different way. Remember how I did the scallop blooms, and then I embossed them with the sunflower, and just another way. So let me get this in here. And now I'm going to cut a Berry Burst one. And so pretty much this card takes about, oops, I bumped the camera, one piece of cardstock. You will have some leftovers. Like I just cut the arch out with the leftover. But, okay, so now for our heart, this is just going to line up right like so on that. And there's our heart. So we're just going to add some glue here. And there is our heart. So now for our heart, see how we only want it to stick to these two? Because if we put it here, then we're not going to be able to open up our card. So what I did is I kind of placed it where I wanted it. And then I added my dimensionals. So I know I'm going to need one just like right in this corner, because that's going to lay there like so. And this is probably not going to be 100% centered, but it's fine because it's such a fun fold. Let me see where I'm going to add this. I'm going to put it on here because it'll pick those other two up. And we could actually, you know me guys, I'm always moving my dimensionals around. And so this can go right like so. And that's, I guess, almost pretty center. And then see, it'll open. All right, so now what do we need? We need our banners. So let's punch out some banners. And we only need one, which we're using that center one. So if you had a thin strip, actually, I have one right here. If you have a thin strip of cardstock, you could just do that just for the one. But if you want to cut out all three, you can. So let's get all these guys. And then I already pre-cut my 4 by 5 1/4 basic white. I always have a stack of these. I cut out actually a whole package of white to make those. So that's a 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, we're gonna stamp happy birthday in the center of this one. We're gonna stamp cue the confetti. I'm not sure if this one kept falling off my block, so hopefully I'm on there straight. Cue the confetti, and then celebrate. And that's it. Okay, so now let's add that to the inside. This will fold out. It will. But look, I'm going to put some weight on it just to hold it down so I could show you. And glue this on the inside. And you know, if you wanted to, you can make a smaller heart with the smallest arches and put it on the inside. You know what? I wonder how that'll look. It might be too big. You think it'll be too big? Shall we try something else? You know me, I'm always switching things up. Let's move that out of the way. And just out of curiosity, I wanted to see if we added a heart to the inside. So this is using the smallest arch die. And it wants to move. So we're gonna tape that guy down. Just, you know what, you could probably even cut off some of the arch to make a smaller heart. I'm gonna go back this way. And so you guys could see what I'm doing. So this one might end up being a little bit too big. But like I said, you could probably trim some of that. I just wanted to see so we could add a little bit more decorations to our inside. So yeah, this one's probably a little bit too big. That looks a little weird. But I wonder if we shortened it, you know, like so. Look. Oh, look, that even looks like one of those ribbons. If you did it in pink, you would have a breast cancer ribbon or whatever. But if we shorten these, we could make it smaller. Like cut, like snip that and snip that and then stick it in there. So just an idea, if you want to add a heart on the inside, glue those together and then just snip and snip. All right, just an idea, getting myself off track. I'm gonna hold this down where, I was gonna say, oh my gosh, I lost my happy birthday, but I found it. So we'll add a couple of dimensionals to here. We're gonna add this in the center. We're gonna do our berry burst bow. Last week I believe I used the berry burst on Blackberry Bliss. You know, we don't have that many ribbons this year, and I'm actually missing them because I like to add a bow to my stuff, to my projects. So let's get a mini glue dot. Where is my mini glue dot? We're just gonna add that right in the center. We need our dreamy dots. I'm gonna put this, get all these little goods out of the way so you could see the pretty card and not all of my mess. So these dreamy flowers are so pretty. We're gonna add a small white one here. Did I have it the wrong way? Actually, I want it to go down. We're gonna add a berry burst one over here. We're gonna add a small, I think this is probably bubble bath here. And oops, where did it go? It's on my card. It jumped right over there, and we're gonna put one over here. And that is it. Now, wasn't this fun fold so easy to make? Quick and easy. Don't you love how the arches are a heart? Here's my original. Here is my one we just did. And so fun. Well, cue the confetti, celebrate. And like I said, your recipient can stand it up, display it so everybody can walk by and go, ooh, where'd you get that card? It's so pretty, right? Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today for Fun Fold Friday. I appreciate it. Again, give me some love, some likes, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate it all, and it helps the algorithms so more people can see me. I can get out there and expose. All right, I will see you next Friday again at 12 o'clock. And you can also join me on Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. for Workshop Wednesday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.